Money feels solid. You earn it, save it, count it, and trust that it will still mean something tomorrow. But what if I told you that money quietly stopped being real a long time ago, and almost no one noticed the moment it happened? This isn't a conspiracy story. It's not about secret societies or hidden vaults. This is the true story of the day. Money stopped being backed by anything at all, and how that single decision reshaped the world economy, inflation, debt, and your future. For most of human history, money was simple. If you held a coin, it had value because it was value. Gold was gold, silver was silver. You couldn't print it. You couldn't fake it. And governments couldn't create more just because they wanted to. Money had limits, and so did power. For thousands of years, civilizations rose and fell under this system. The Roman Empire used gold and silver coins. Medieval kingdoms minted precious metals. Even early America based its currency on gold and silver reserves. Money meant something because it was tied to something real. But that system had one problem. It limited governments. Wars were expensive. Empires wanted to grow faster. Politicians wanted promises without pain. And gold didn't cooperate. You couldn't print gold during a crisis. You couldn't magically create silver to pay debts. So slowly, quietly, governments began searching for a workaround. The first step was paper money. At first, paper bills were just receipts. A piece of paper saying, you can exchange this for gold anytime you want. People trusted it because the gold was supposed to be there. This system worked until governments realized something dangerous. Most people never actually came to claim the gold. That realization changed everything. If only a small percentage of people demanded gold at any moment, then governments could issue more paper than gold they actually owned. That's when money began to stretch. By the 20th century, the world officially adopted the gold standard system where currencies were still tied to gold, but loosely. It created stability. It limited reckless spending. It forced discipline, and governments hated it. Then came World War I suddenly. Gold wasn't enough. Countries needed weapons, soldiers, factories immediately, so they suspended the rules. They printed money. Tabor would. They promised they'd fix it later. Temporary, they said. It never was. After World War II, the world tried one last time to restore order. In 1944, global powers met and created the Bretton Woods system. Here was the deal. The US dollar would be backed by gold. Other currencies would be backed by the dollar. Ounce of gold would equal $35. The US became the center of global finance. And for a while it worked. But power always invites abuse. As America fought wars overseas and expanded spending at home, it printed more dollars than it had gold to support. Other countries noticed. They started asking questions. And then they started asking for gold. By the late 1960s, foreign governments were exchanging dollars for American gold at an alarming rate. Gold reserves were draining fast. The system was cracking. Something had to give. On August 15th, 1971, the world changed quietly. President Richard Nixon went on television and announced a decision that would redefine money forever. The US would stop converting dollars into gold. No debate. No global vote. No public understanding of what it meant. Who's like that? Money was no longer backed by anything. This moment became known as the Nixon shock, and it was the day money stopped being real. From that point on, currencies became fiat money. Fiat means by decree. Money had value because government said it did not, because it was tied to gold, silver, or any physical asset. For the first time in history, the world ran entirely on belief. At first, nothing seemed wrong. Life went on. People still worked. Prices still made sense. But beneath the surface, a new reality had begun. Money was now infinite. Without gold limiting supply, governments could print freely. Debt exploded. Spending increased. Asset prices surged. Inflation became normal. And instead of being a rare disaster, it became a permanent feature of modern economies. Look at the numbers. Before 1971, inflation was relatively stable. After 1971, prices steadily climbed. Housing, education, healthcare became more expensive. Not overnight, but relentlessly. Wages couldn't keep up. Savings lost value, and people started feeling something strange. They were working harder, but falling behind anyway. This wasn't an accident. Fiat money rewards debt. It punishes saving. If money loses value over time, the system encourages borrowing, spending, and risk-taking, and that benefits one group more than anyone else. Those closest to the money printer. Banks, governments, large corporations. They receive new money first. Before inflation spreads, by the time it reaches ordinary people, prices have already risen. This effect has a name. It's called the Cantillon effect, and it quietly transfers wealth upward. Every major financial crisis since 1971 shares one thing in common. Too much cheap money. The dot-com bubble. The 2008 financial crisis. The post-pandemic inflation surge. Different triggers. Same root cause. Unlimited money chasing limited reality. Today, money is more abstract than ever. Most of it doesn't exist physically. It's numbers on screens. Digits in databases. Created with keystrokes. Deleted with policy changes. Real work. Paid in unreal money. So what does this mean for the future? It means stability is no longer guaranteed. It means cycles of booms and busts are baked into the system. It means trust is the true currency now. And trust is fragile. This is why people are searching for alternatives. Gold, Bitcoin, hard assets. Not because money failed overnight, but because it stopped being anchored. The day money stopped being real wasn't dramatic. No riots, no alarms, just a quiet announcement, and a new world built on belief instead of limits. The question isn't whether fiat money will survive. The real question is, how long can a system set on infinite creation survive in a finite world? Because once money becomes imaginary, reality always sends the bill.